What's going on, guys? So you already saw my replay of the deck and everything, and I also saw people saying they want to see my version of the deck profile, so I thought, hey, why not? Let's throw it up on there. I also have to send it in for the tournament, so I might as well show it off and then send it in for the tournament. So this is my final completion. I'll let you know my thoughts and why the choices are made and why there's some cards you might have thought should be in there and whatever. I'll explain all of it. And by the way, I'm not new to this deck. I've played it since it came out hardcore, played online, played against friends. I used to play this deck a lot, so I've been testing this for the tournament. And yeah, so let's get on with it. So, I'm playing 3 Pon Poko. This is the card I want to have in my hand if I don't have Obedience School. You don't know what Obedience School does, I'll explain in a second. But this is the card I want to have in my hand opening if I don't have an Obedience School. Even, I mean, it's nice to have Obedience School and Pon Poko, but if I don't have Obedience School, I would like to have Pon Poko in my hand for starting play. So what Pon Poko does is, you can special summon, when you normal summon him, you can special summon level 2 Beast Monster in defense position. You usually want to do it with Tan, but you can use something else if you really needed to for some other reason. But so yeah, I play 3 of those because you always want to try to get in your hand, so it works out great. Tan, when he's flipped face up, you can special summon level 2 Beast Monster from your deck. Tan combos well with Kellen and Toza. I'll explain what he does in a second if you don't know. But I only play 2 Tan. I see a lot of people who play Raccoons play 3. I don't feel like he's good at 3. I never seem to have a problem. I never seem when I play that I'm like, wow, I wish I had another Tan, or I wish I drew into him. Not ever the case ever when I play. So I only play 2 Tan, think it's just fine at that, and it works great. So this card came out recently. It's Valafon, and you can discard 1 card and target 1 level 2 or lower Beast Monster in your graveyard, except herself, and then special summon that target in attack position or face down defense position. So it works well for a lot of different combos. But and it's a tuner. But it works also well with Kellen and Toza, which Kellen and Toza pops when he's special summoned by a beast effect. So you have Tan and you have Valafon, and Valafon, it's like a Lumina and Lightsworn, so you can discard himself or a beast monster if you already have a beast in the grave, special summon him, pop, then use him for a tuner play or an overlay for Sandu, or however you pronounce it, number 64. So I only played 2 of her because I don't want too many tuners, and I needed this card in here. So 2's good. It makes plays go off. It's a great number to leave that. Same with Kellen Toza. 3's too cloggy for it. That's a lot of the theme for this. 3's too many for a lot of things. So yeah, 2's just fine for Mystical Beast of the Forest. Now him, I was debating to play 2. I was going to take out a Wind-Up Kitten because Wind-Up Kitten has been helping that often, but Dark Desperate or something. Basically, his effect is when he's banished, Redux, you can special summon a level 2 or level 4 or lower Beast-type monster from your graveyard and special summon it. So that also works again with Kellen Toza. Again, you can pop because he's being it's a special summon from a beast, so you can pop, or you can bring back Valafon if you want to do a tuner play, or even Wind-Up Kitten if you needed to. It's a good card. It's a good little card to have in their decks when you do use a Redux play. Wind-Up Kitten, you know, bounce and XYZs and synchros and ritual cards if you need to, back to the hand. It's not so great now. I was going to take it down to 1. Like I said, maybe put in a Dark Desperate Taper, but I decided on 2, just let it go. I mean, the tournament's not a big deal. So, I mean, I'm going to try my best, but, you know, I mean, it's not a big deal if I lose. So, Wind-Up Kitten is what I decided on. 2 Junk Synchron. I was going to play 3 once again as a gun-up, but I was like, I'm not going for the heavy Junk Synchron play, like, I'm trying to go Junk Warrior hardcore. But basically, if you don't know the deck, Junk Warrior, you usually want Junk Synchron and you special summon a level 2 monster. Okay, that's Junk Synchron's effect. And you want to make a Junk Warrior, and then you usually want to use Junk Warrior, but before you do all that, you want to make a token from number 64, and hopefully its attack is more than 1,000 when you make the token, because its attack copies the token's attack copies the highest attack on the field. So it's usually your own XC's that's attack copy, so it'll be 1,000. But hopefully, if your opponent has a higher attack monster, it'll be that. But so it's a token level 1 with 1,000 plus attack depending on what attack it is. So when you use Junk Warrior's effect, he gains attack of all level 2 or lower monsters you currently control's attack. So you can get Junk Warrior's attack huge, and then if you play your cards right, you can then detach another token if you played Obedience School and you have the right setup, and then that attack will copy Junk Warrior. You can get a big field of beaters really quick, but they can also get destroyed easily because they don't have good defense effects. So that's why I'm only playing 1 Junk Warrior, but he combos well because you can get Junk Warrior's attack pretty high. Usually his attack is always at 3,300 because he gains the 1,000, but it depends when you play him and how it's played. But it's good to have 1. I used to play 2, but as I was testing it, I just wasn't making Junk Warrior that often. So 2 Junk Synchrons works just fine for that play. Now Masked Chameleon's a new one I've also been playing because it combos well with Pon Poko. You can bring Pon Poko back and make a Notoria Beast Oh, that is one thing. This is not the final thing for my deck, because I was playing on Duel Network. There's a card I took out of here to put in Notoria Barkion. I don't know where that card is, but yeah, I took a card out for that. Anyways, this isn't the final build, so Simo or Will or whoever's doing it, if you see this, I will send you the official final build. I'll have to fix that then. But yeah, you can make a Dotoria Barkion, or you can make a Goyo Guardian. There you go. Very easy with Mass Chameleon, and yeah, so there you go for that. And he's an Earth, so it works well with Redox, Grand Soil, and whatever. Redox, you're playing all Earths, why not just fucking play it? Because you can mix it with a Valifon to get a level 9 out, like Giga Cancel. He's not a great card, but you know, it's a beater, so whatever. You can combo with Junk Synchron to make a level 10. There you go. And that's pretty much it for that. There's nothing much more why I'm playing him. But yeah, Redox, and he's good for defense if you're really last ditch and need something to protect you. And then the other reason why I'm playing Redox is so you can thin out your graveyard and kind of control your graveyard for Grand Soil, so you can diminish the amount of Earths in your graveyard and make sure you can get a good solid 5 so you can special summon him. And I've noticed that people back in the day thought this card was good and then it all lost, you know, surface. But this card really is good if you just watch if you have a card like Redox that you can control your graveyard and you pay attention to how many Earths in your graveyard, he's really not that hard to get out. Like back in the day I used to think I could never get him out, but I get him out pretty often in this, and it's a pretty good card, so yeah, Grand Soil. And also he can sync up with, you know, Valifon and Junk Synchron for Star Eater, so that's why I have him. 3 Upstarts. So I was running 3 Upstarts and 3 Reckless, kind of like the old back. I mean, some people still play that, but this deck kind of needs some speed. But I finally decided, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to keep it with the Upstarts. Some people don't play Upstarts and would take out these and probably play a Dark Hole and 2 more traps. And the defensive way is easier, but having a little bit of speed kind of gets, I feel like, is a good way to go with the deck. So I went with a little bit more speed. I played 3 Upstarts. And then I have a 1 day apiece, so like 4 Upstarts, but my opponent gets to draw. So whatever. Obedience School. If you know what this card does, basically I get to special summon 3 level 2 beast monsters, and I can't special summon any other monsters besides beast monsters this turn. You usually go into 2 Sandiyu, or try to go for a first turn Aturia Beast play. Soul Charge can bring them all back. Self-explanatory. I'm not playing Ayers Rock, because really the only thing I'd bring back is Notoria Beast. Otherwise, just bringing back a level 2, though it can help, I'd rather play other traps and spells over that card. People might be pissed. I don't care. I don't think Ayers Rock is just that good right now. So, not going to play it. Snatch Steal, awesome card. Of course, I'm going to play that. 2 Creature Swap. Creature Swap is OP against cards that rely on 1 card. Even if their effect, it doesn't matter what kind of effect they have, because it's a, I forget how they worded it, the ruling for Creature Swap, but it's like a choosing play. It doesn't affect the monster individually. So, Creature Swap is good to get around anything that's huge, and you have weak monsters, so it's even funnier. I love Creature Swapping, especially Noble Knights, because not all the time, but a lot of the time they'll make like a giant monster, and you're just like, how do I get over it? Creature Swap. Now it's yours. You just owned them. So, that's why I'm also have down here for a Creature Swap. If I'm playing against Noble Knights, I'm playing 3 of them because I gotta deal with some shit. But yeah, 2 Creature Swaps, because also even if you're playing a deck that doesn't rely on 1 big monster, it can come in handy for choke points and other things like that. Now this card I was debating to take out. It makes your token stronger, can make your monsters a little bit stronger, and sometimes it has decided a game, but it's still not the greatest card. But I was like, you know what, Close Force, I've always played it, always liked it, so I was like, I'm going to keep it in. I was going to maybe take it out and put it in so I have 2 Dark Holes in Raigeki, but I decided against it. So I'm only playing 1 Dark Hole in Raigeki. I know, the guy who can play that Mass Destruction cards are important isn't playing 3. I wanted a little bit more defense, so I opted in for a second Mirrored Force over a Dark Hole. It's just my preference. I probably should have played them more, but I'll be fine. Testing hasn't really become an issue. And then I said at that 1 day apiece, I'm a personal fan of 1 day apiece. If you play it right, you can save yourself, draw a card, and it's also more thinning out your deck to a thick 36 card deck, if you want to go by that standards. Torrential, you know, Pulse Soul, bottomless, you know, solid. I'm playing the 2 Mirror Force because Destruction's just nice right now, and especially protect against these guys. Because sometimes you have to play a deck that's piercing damage or something like that, so when Sandiyu's in defense or you're safe, Mirror Force is just nice to have. And 3 Vanities, because, you know, everybody's deck can Floodgate. This deck can fucking special summon out the asshole. Vanity's a good card to have. So, yeah. That's the main deck. Extra deck. 3 Sandiyu. You need to play 3. I used to see decks people playing 2. I have no idea how. This card is what makes it. Sandiyu's effect, basically, you can make tokens when you detach, and that tokens copies any other attack. But also, its main effect is, as long as there's another beast monster on the field, it cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. So, yeah, there's other ways to get rid of them. Banishing, negate the effect, things like that, bounce it. But for the most part, if you put 2 of these in defense, it can stop an opponent for a couple turns for them to draw the right cards and for you to have some advantage. If you're not sure about the opponent you're playing, I usually play 2 of these in defense and then make a token for some more defense. It's just how I play. Seems to work out for me a lot. But these cards are good 3. When you lose all the attachments and you're caught in a corner, sometimes I've played where they've taken out my field and I only have him with like no attachments and defense. That's the only card left after you wipe out my field. That's where Downward Magician comes in. Now he's overlaid. Now I have Downward Magician. Downward Magician gains 200 attack for each material to it. So now I have a 2300 beater, and not necessarily can always beat the thing that's on the field, but can help out. So I like Downward Magician. I'm playing all these synchros just because you can sync up pretty much a lot of the higher things. So I'm playing Star Eater. I have made it. Yes, I have. I have made Leo. I have made Giga Castle. Stardust is actually the card, and now I just realized Stardust is the card I was taking out to put in the Notoria Barkion. So on Duel Network. So that would be what's in there. So I don't have a play of Stardust. I play Barkion. So forget the Stardust. Crimson Blader. I play a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend and a Black Rose, Goyo Guardian, the Notoria Barkion, Notoria Beast, Junk Warrior, and I have Justice Contester. There's no reasoning really behind it. Just that's what I play. Like there we go. Now my side deck for the tournament. Now a lot of people would be like, it's not the greatest side deck, and I would agree because there's a lot of cards I did want to play that I felt like not the right thing to play it. So this is what I've decided on, and this is what it's going to stay. I wanted to play Mistakes in my side deck, but I decided just no. So Creature Swap. Third one, I told you there's some matchups that would work well having a third Creature Swap. I'd take out something probably like Closed Forest to play. 2 MST, because this deck already does a good amount of popping that wouldn't really stop it. Now, Vanities could, if I had opponents' Vanities, I couldn't do my plays to pop, so that's why I thought 2 MSTs are good to get around it. I have some defense and stuff, so it won't be that hard. And plus, I don't only have to get rid of Vanities through a Mystical Space, I just have to destroy a card in my opponent's field, so Dark Hole or Raigeki can also fill that void for me. Or Snatch Steal if I want to be an ass. There's ways to get around it is what I'm saying. Creature Swap, whatever. So Vanities it's a big deal, but I don't need MST to get rid of it. I know there's other cards besides Vanities that you need to worry about, but that's what I'm worried about. So 2 MST. Soul Releases. Any deck that relies off the graveyard, I hate. I just hate it. My deck doesn't rely off the graveyard. You can use the graveyard to your advantage, but it doesn't rely necessarily. It kind of does. So that's why I'm kind of against playing D-Fissure and Macrocosmos. But if I really had to, if it's a really hard matchup like Light Swarms or something, of course I'm going to play them. Like, come on. They can sack too quick. So, but I like Soul Release because with decks like Dark Worlds or Light Swarms, when they get their graveyard filled up with the cards they can use, Soul Release, they're gone. Bun. I like them. There you go. Slip to 5 cards from the graveyard, remove them from play. Done. So these are the cards I was siding that really, really heavily rely off the deck. Macrocosmos, D-Fissure, and 2 Soul Release for decks that really love that graveyard. Because graveyard decks can piss me off sometimes. Also the Soul Train. Starlight Road. I think I also took that out for something else. Yeah, I did. So, okay, this isn't the official. Like I said, don't take this in for if Simo or Will sees this. It's not the official until I send it to you. Let me fix this shit. Starlight Road I took out. Forget what I put in. I'll have to go check on my other deck profile on Duel Network, because that was the solid one. 2 DNA Surgery. This can help a lot of decks, especially since a lot of people in this tournament... I wouldn't main this for, like, an official tournament. But in this tournament where people are playing decks that, some that they're known for, others that they don't really know, not that we don't really know, but I mean like, you know what I'm trying to say, like there's going to be a big variety of decks in this tournament. So DNA Surgery can help a lot with that, because some decks require types, and you put Beast, all my monsters that aren't Beast in this deck are now Beast, so it can help me, and it can really fuck up my opponent. Once again, this takes out Noble Knights. That's off the top of my head, but it does mess up a lot of decks. If there's a rogue zombie deck that plays Zombie World, DNA Surgery, Mizuki's going to be dead. Same with Book of Life. It helps with some decks. Is it a big one? No, but once again, I'm looking out for it. Macrocosmos over here. Then for the people that are a lot of decks that worry me with this deck are either light or dark. Constellars, Stella Knights, Shadows, all that stuff. So I'm playing 2 Light Imprisoning Mirrors, 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors. With Vanities and everything else, I feel pretty confident with this deck, because there's decks, a lot of decks haven't given me a lot of trouble in the past with Raccoons. It's just usually like, I don't get my play off quick enough, because it's a little bit too slow, while other people can. So I'm playing Shadow Imprisoning Mirror and Light Imprisoning Mirror, so deal with that shit, along with my other cards. Yeah. So that is my setup for the deck, guys. I know it's not the greatest, but I'm not I don't know. This is what I feel comfortable with, what I've been playing on matches and stuff lately. Now, if I went to a YCS or something, this is definitely not what I would put for my side deck. Not even close. But I'm trying to put a side deck that might combat decks that Yu-Gi YouTubers are known for and that other people are not known for. Just some randoms. It's hard to combat against a whole side deck of randoms. When you go to a tournament, you have a good idea what like 80% of your decks are going to be. They're going to be the major meta decks. Tournament for a bunch of different Yu-Gi YouTubers using decks they're known for and other random decks that they just enjoy. It's hard to prepare for everything, and you can't. So this is what I'm preparing for that I feel like gives me the most trouble. Decks that are quick and Tusaki, Lightsworn, stuff like that. So, hey guys, let me know what you think down below, and yeah, I'll see you later, guys. Peace!